Today's video is brought to you by Rad Power Bikes.
I'm Carrie and this is Ziggy, and we live in my Ram ProMaster 136-inch wheelbase van named Ursula. Let me show you around. So let's start with the front here. All the ProMasters come with this like area, so I didn't do anything to this, but I usually keep a bunch of like towels, blankets, some electronics, life jackets, I don't know, anything like kind of squishy, I just jam in there, and it's great storage. Then this is like the sunglasses, hats, masks area, also comes with the van. I have both of these on swivels, so they turn around, but this one not today because there's just too much going on up there. We've got Ziggy's special carrier and his seatbelt and the laundry basket, so this is just going to stay put for now. And of course we cannot forget Bruce the Moose. He's from Bartlett, New Hampshire. He's been traveling with me for over a decade, and he's very agreeable. So this is like my little kitchen galley area. I built the entire van myself, but what I did for the bottom here is I got the fronts and the hardware from IKEA, and then I built the back part and color matched it because IKEA furniture is made out of particle board and it would have shaken apart with the movement of the van. Also, countertop is IKEA as well. This magnetic utensil holder, it's amazing. I always get asked if these have fallen down, and so far so good. Got the fruit hammock like every true van lifer. I keep most of my food up here, some medicine on here, and I have a nice deep sink right here. I grew up on a boat, so I understand the importance of having the space to do the dishes. Those little cocktail sinks just do not cut it at all. I had installed 2 different faucets. This one actually is filtered water, so I filter the water going into the tank and then coming out, and I haven't had a problem with drinking water at all from the hose. We got the paper towel holder with the ratcheting, so this doesn't ever come undone. I've got under the cabinet lighting and my other switch. This is on a 3-way. My trash is in here. I absolutely love this little guy. It takes care of business. So then my other drawers, this one's held on with a little magnet so it doesn't fly out when I go around corners. But then my other ones have these little child lock things on them, and you pull the magnet and then open it up, and you know, that's how that works. This guy down here, same thing. Got my oven thing that I've actually never used. Pots and pans and stuff like that, paper towels. Down here also, like just taking advantage of all the extra space, I wanted a toe kick. I built it in just so that I wouldn't be, my feet can be more comfortable in here. And then underneath, I just found containers that will fit like my colander and everything. And yeah, I have a little pee funnel in there that I'm not gonna pull out.
The team at Tiny Home Tours is incredibly excited to partner with Rad Power Bikes because we feel that their line of e-bikes are the perfect companion to the nomadic and tiny lifestyle. Whether it's exploring a city in style or going for a leisurely cruise around the campsite, e-bikes from Rad Power bring an element of convenience and fun to your travels. We've personally used e-bikes from Rad Power Bikes for anything from trips to the grocery store to visiting with other nomads parked nearby. And let's be honest, they're just plain fun to ride around. Rad Power Bikes are convenient to travel with and even have models that fold up, so no matter your space, you can be sure that traveling and storing your e-bike will be a breeze. Rad Power Bikes can be charged using a standard household outlet that many of us already have in our electrical system in our tiny spaces, so keeping your e-bike from Rad Power topped up is trouble-free and practical. If you want to learn more about Rad Power Bikes, check the link in the description.
I worked on the van so vigorously. But honestly, it was such rewarding work because I'm like, this is for me, this is gonna be my home. So I'd be completely exhausted, my back hurt, I lost toenails, I cried, I was frustrated. It was just a whole slew of things, but in the end, it was always worth it because it just had such a pride in what I was doing. But for the most part, because I did a ton of research, I'm fairly happy with all the things I chose. There's very little that I would change, but I would advice for people who are wanting to do this is just, you can never do enough research. And that allowed me to really like dig in and move more quickly and make educated decisions that I'm really happy with. I went with this Dometic fridge because it had a freezer space in it actually, and I love ice water and ice and cold things, so that was a must for me. I took this fabric that I got from Joann's and stuck it to the front because I wanted it to be more cute. And it's a 12 volt fridge, so it doesn't draw a lot of power. It's really fantastic. Everything I need is in there. I've gotten it down pat. I try not to get the cart at the grocery store though, because I always get a little crazy and there's too much in there. So baskets, that's the way to go, you know, maintain the grocery. I went with propane for my cooking just because when I lived on a boat, I understood the importance of not putting everything on your batteries. So induction wasn't even like a thought for me. I just kind of got something that was in my price range, and I've been really happy with it. I like that I have the 2 burners because sometimes you can do like a sauce and then some pasta. But in the summer, I actually tend to not really use this very much because it really heats up the van. So I do see the advantage to some people that have their camp stoves and they can bring them outside. So I love everything mermaid, and that's why the name of the van is Ursula. Kind of a friend came up with it for me, but I wanted to tie that in somehow, so I got these tiles. They came in like 1 by 1 foot sections, and I adhered them with like a flexible mortar and grout. So I haven't had one bit of movement or cracking at all, so I'm very impressed with it. One of the things I incorporated into my van was this Wii Boost. Basically, it just helps me have a stronger phone signal in more remote places, which for me is a #1 safety element. I'm traveling by myself as a female, so just being connected to the world is always good, you know. Another thing I do for safety is my keys, if they're not on me on my person, they're always on this hook. So if I feel unsafe or anything's happening, I know right where my keys are and I can just drive away from the situation, basically. Some other things I do, I just listen to my gut a lot, never push a situation or anything like that. I have little weapons around the van that I will not disclose, but they're around here. And the last thing is I installed extra locks on all the doors in my van. I don't always have them locked when I'm in here because that could be dangerous too, but it's nice to know that I can leave the van and have it secure because basically my entire life is in here. And it's just a deterrent anyways. So it's nice to have them, and even just for the visuals, it's great. In this bench, I have my diesel heater and my Airhead composting toilet, which I love and is worth every penny. I usually try to not use it so often, but it's amazing. It doesn't smell like anything. It's fantastic. So under here too, this comes up, but I'm not going to move my dog right now. And I have my roller skates in there, some shoes that are more like wintry boots and stuff, and some extra coconut core that goes in the composting toilet so I never run out, and just a lot of guts things, you know, nothing too pretty. So I wanted to have access to the back of the van, so I made sure that I put a door just in case I ever wanted to haul something longer, like some paddle boards or maybe even some lumber for a future build. And I use this I have like a little thing in here for some clothes too, so I can access that from here pretty easily. Another thing I wanted to have was a place to do work. So I just put in a little slide out table. You can come all the way out to here, but I just usually keep it about so. And it's pretty easy to store back in there, and it has these clips so when I'm driving it won't fly out. It locks into place. Welcome to my bedroom, not to be confused with the living room. But what I have here is clothes in these cabinets up here. I love these packing cubes. They're great for organizing stuff. This is probably my most organized one. But similar thing in all of these as well. I know a lot of people think that you're gonna hit your head on this, and I did a couple times, but now I'm like expert mode. I never hit my head on them, and I'm just so grateful to have the extra space to put stuff away. And I like that I put the shaker style cabinets, made these and put them on top, because I don't like open everything showing, because it has to be super uber organized. As it is, I just kind of throw stuff in there and I'm like, okay, it's clean. I had this extra space right here, so I made this wonky little cabinet. So I created this like little medicine cabinet, and it has like all my face wash, my toothbrush, and it's really organized, and it's just easy to like grab and go without having to put too much thought about pulling stuff out and putting it back away. So I was really happy with that decision. I have some little reading lights here. They have USB ports on them so I can charge my phone. The next thing I have is this pull down window shade, and I have a little projector that I put on here with a magnet, and I can just put my head over here and watch like a film or something on a rainy day or whatnot. I made these cutouts because I wanted to maximize the space. So I ended up putting a full-size bed in here, and it's like a memory foam, and it has like a cooling gel in it, and honestly, this is probably the most comfortable bed I've ever owned. I also have this fan. It's really great, low amperage, so I can have it on the entire evening or the day if it's really hot, and it's powerful, but it doesn't really put a drain on my battery, so that's very nice. So what I decided to go with the van was 2 fantastic fans. I set one to pull air in and one to push air out, and it really circulates very well. It's very efficient and cools it down or pretty easily. I did not want to put extra windows for lots of reasons. One, temperature control. Also, it's a security reason. It's an easier way to break into the van. And 3, it's not stealthy. So my main concern, especially as a female traveling by myself, is to be stealthy. The more people know, not knowing I'm in here by myself or anything, the safer I will be. I made the rack on the top of my van for my solar, so it's really low profile. So unless you know what you're looking for, another van person, you probably wouldn't just guess, oh, I think someone's living in that van. So all my decisions were very much based upon stealth. And that's why I didn't go with the windows. But if you're like, oh, if you're in a nice place, so don't you want to be able to like see nature and everything? So what I did is I have screen bug protectors for both of these doors. So if I'm in a nice place that I want to enjoy, I just open up all my doors and I can Velcro the bug screen there, and they're held together in the middle like by magnets, and they're easy in and out for when I want to go to a place and enjoy it. A question I get a lot is like, what do you do for work? And this van is kind of my way of being a starving artist. So I do a lot of painting, murals. I've been sticking a lot with watercolors recently just because of obviously the space constraints. I also have some skills in construction, so I'll do little gigs for people. I'll redo their bathrooms or kitchens, tile. I used to be a cake decorator, so I'm really good with thin set. And just things like that. It doesn't cost me much on the road. I pay for fuel, food, insurances, and things like that. So I don't have to make too much to get by, basically. I was fortunate enough to have saved a good amount of money to get in on this, and it's paid for. I don't have a payment or anything. My savings is really sad right now, but I'm hoping that the quality of life I've created for myself will make it worth it. So this is my entryway. I made myself this nice little fold-up table just for kind of hanging out when I meet up with people on the road. Got my bottle opener, extra power in case I want to put some lights in, and then my light switch is right here, and I put that there so when I come into the van in the evening, it's easy to turn the lights on. So this is my garage. I went with the garage because I did a bunch of research and people were saying that they ended up not really making their bed up every day when they had a dinette. And I knew myself that I would probably be that person, and I wanted to still be able to have all the things that I want on the road. So back here I have, well, I built the van, so it makes me nervous to not have tools. So I have more tools than the average person probably. I also do odd jobs and gigs on the road as well, so I like to have those with me. Nothing too big, but just everything, all the little things that I'm gonna need. My longboard, because sometimes it's nice to just pop off sometimes. Computer stuff, a cooler for the beach or whatever, some mechanical tools, which I don't know too much about mechanics, but it gets me by. My snorkel stuff, you know, because I'm one with the ocean, mermaid girl. Here I have, this is my propane. It houses it, it's just a regular tank. I went with that because it's just easier. There's no hassle of having to go to a specific place and get it filled. I just pull it out, take it into the shop and exchange it, no hassle at all. And it will be better for like traveling in more remote areas or maybe even other countries. It's completely sealed and vented through the bottom, so it's safe. Then I have my water tank here. It's a 21-gallon freshwater tank. I put it on the inside because I wanted to maybe be a ski bunny or something, and if it's on the inside then it won't freeze and the lines will stay warm, so I can use it in more, it's more like winterized. My 10-gallon fresh or gray water tank is mounted up underneath the van, so that would freeze, but if I was going into a climate like that I would just empty that and not use the sink. So then I fill up my tank with this to filter it, and then I have another filter when it comes out the sink. I have all the quick connects and everything here for my outdoor propane shower, hot water on demand. It's really nice. I end up using it too often just because I don't like to draw attention to the fact that I'm in here by myself. But if I'm in a place that it works, then I'll just throw on a bikini and start showering. But mostly Planet Fitness for me. This part of my garage is where the electrical is. Let's start from the top. This is my MPPT charge controller. The sun comes through here and it makes sure it doesn't come too quickly for the batteries. I have 200 amp hour lithium ion battle-born batteries. These guys are great. This over here is my circuit breakers for my shore power, which I have mounted underneath. I just put it in with the idea that if I do sell it, someone's going to want it, but I really never use it. I'm completely off grid all the time, and I want it that way. I have a 3,000 watt inverter, which is ridiculous. You can run a hairdryer. But again, I barely ever use it. I just put it in for one day. If someone wants to buy the van, a couple or something, I'm sure someone might want to curl their hair or whatever. This is my DC to DC charger. I did all the electrical myself, and really what made it possible was I got a kit. And it's a little extra money, but it comes with everything you need, and you can call. I actually used AM Solar. They're fantastic. They're really good customer service. I got this like plasticky kind of flooring because it was just my garage and it was cheap but durable, so I can just throw things that are wet in here, slide stuff around without feeling I'm going to scratch up or mess up some wood. And on the roof, I have two 90-watt solar panels. Between that and my DC to DC charger, I have a ton of power. So the DC to DC charger, I definitely recommend anyone, because if it's just like really bad weather for a few days, just go for a little drive and you're completely charged up. It's amazing. because I built this, I know how everything goes together. It's really nice because if anything goes wrong, I know exactly where to go to fix it. I know where every wire is, like what kind of screws I used, and it's just a good feeling to know your van so well and to be able to keep it in tip-top condition and work on it without having to like pay tons of money to have a stranger figure it out. So if you're curious actually to watch my build, I have it all on my highlights. It'll take you like 12 hours, but on my Instagram, which is Carrie Lynn Conrad. If you're interested in maybe commissioning some art for me, I'm at Very Carrie Art. If you want to see some dope cakes that I used to do in the past, Carrie's Got Cake. And if you're interested in a vacation rental in the Virgin Islands, you should go to ProMaster Villa. But yeah, those are my things. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you out there on the road.